Hello all, welcome back to Shaving with Peg Leg. Before we start the shave video, I want to say, well, thank you all for watching, first of all. And before we start getting into the head shave, I got a package in today, which was supposed, it's Thursday, okay? It came in today. It was supposed to be here last Saturday, but my local post office has been playing games with it. It came in to Ybor City in Tampa, and then it left Ybor City, came to my local post office like it's supposed to. My local post office the next day sent it back to Ybor City, and the next day Ybor City sent back to my local post office, and then my local post office sent it back to Ybor City the next day, and the next day Ybor City sent it back to my local post office, and I finally got it. It's like, are you guys going to play tennis with this or what? Just keep volleying the razor back and forth because it is a razor. I just let that slip, didn't I? But that's okay. You guys probably know. So I'm not buying any software right now. The only thing I'm looking at buying is interesting and odd pieces of hardware. Oh, this is the case. It's kind of grayish in color. And there is the razor. It's a solid handle, 3-piece design from the Roller Razor Company. I believe that's what it is, the Roller Razor Company. Can you see? Can you see? The safety bar is turning. Both sides do it. So when you, and it's cut in a spiral, so it will grab your hairs and lift them up. This needs to be cleaned before I can use it. But I just thought it was 50. It's got a neat handle. It's short. Odd. Probably 100% gimmick. Most likely. Alright, let me put this up and we'll get back for the head shave. Okay, I'm back, sorry. Cartridge razor for the head shave today. Dollar Shave Club. My Omega boar brush, 22 millimeter. That I just recently softened the tips on, and they're really nice. And we're using Declaration Grooming Shore soap in my sandstone bowl that says, on the sticker on the bottom, that sticker says, made with love, made in India. Oh, handmade with love, made in India. Thank you. And we got our nice floppy peaks. And we're going to get down to it. Oh, soap is nice and warm. I found the trick with this coffee mug warmer thingy is before you go in the shower, put the bowl on the warming plate, because it does not get as hot as they said it would, like 150, 160 degrees. It does not get that hot. I don't know, maybe if you leave it on for 2 or 3 hours it might, but I'm never going to leave it on that long. But I found that if you just put the bowl on it, turn it on, go take a shower, when you come out the bowl's nice and warm, put your soap in it, and then lather the soap, and it picks up the heat off the bowl, and voila, warm lather, which I've got now. Okay. I'm going to do the sides first because I want to get my glasses on. Well, I hate to say this to you guys that are still dealing with single and double digits and even 30s and 40s, but we hit a high of 83 today. Sweat my ass off. All right. This Shore by Declaration Grooming. You will smell the slightly salty seawater and visceral perception of sand under the sun while you lay in the state somewhere between sleep and summer, with a scent that could only be found on the shore. Why can't you just say seawater and sand? It is milk steak base, which is a tallow base. Okay. This is also on its 5th use, and it's still going okay. Like the other ones are doing all right on their 5th use. All right. This date, what, February 9th? In 1287 in England. For those of you that are going to quick Google and see what's going on, 1287 in England, and February 5th, there was a storm. It was the first storm of 1287. There was a storm in December of 1287 that hit the east coast of England, and it killed hundreds in England and thousands on the other side of the North Sea. And it was extreme low pressure coinciding with a high tide caused a storm surge. Now, the one that happened in February of 1287, they don't know what caused it. They just know that it was a horrible, ferocious storm because in one single night, it fundamentally changed the geography of England. Changed the geography. The harbor at Hastings was destroyed. The old town of Winchelsea, which was already under attack from the sea was creeping in on it, was abandoned and the coastline was realigned. The thriving port of New Romney, where most of the damage occurred, was the heaviest damage occurred in one way. The thriving port of New Romney was turned into a landlocked town. Okay, this city, this town, was on the water. The church was on the water at the harbor, and I lost the head and it hit the ground. Hang on, be back. It didn't come off when I used it. Came off in the water when I swished it and I didn't notice it. But that's why you got to check these things and make sure they're attached. Okay, anyways. The church, on the walls of the church was right on the water in the harbor. had hooks for tying boats to it. That's how close the church was to the water. Okay? St. Nicholas Church. Picture here. Okay. New Romney was hit so hard by the storm that massive quantities of shingle from Dungeness, along with mud, soil, and sand, inundated the town, completely filled the harbor, and left New Romney nearly a mile from the sea. Now this town was a port on the sea, but after the storm it was 1 mile from the shore. That's how much mud, silt, sand, debris, and shingle. If you don't know what shingle is, if you go to the beach and there's like those little itty bitty round rocks all over the beach, that's shingle. Those are shingle. They were everywhere. It filled in the land for 1 mile. The River Rother had its direction changed because the land filled in and changed drastically. It ended up, it doesn't say which direction, but it ended up, the exit to the sea that the River Rother had ended up being 15 miles away near the town of Rye, instead of at New Romney. Totally changed the landscape. Mother Nature is a bitch when she wants to be. One storm, one night. This happened all in one night. Not over the course of decades or years, months, days, weeks. One night. Everything went poof. Now, New Romney is a Saxon name, which is not very new, but there's still visible evidence in the town from this massive event. Visitors to the parish church at South St. Nicholas, I already showed you the picture of St. Nicholas, the only surviving building from the period, only one that survived, because if you look at it, it's made out of stone, it's massive. It's the only building that survived. You have to step down into the church now, even though it was right on the harbor, and now it's a mile inland. You have to step down into it. That's how much mud, silt, sand, and shingle was brought up to the shore. Then now you have to walk down into the church. And the pillars still have stains marking how high the water rose. That's some major stuff, guys. In one night, your town goes from being a harbor to landlocked, a mile from the water. Your whole economy shifts because the town wasn't taxed, because part of its duty for not being taxed was it harbored some of the king's vessels. So they didn't get taxed because they were harboring the vessels. What in the hell is going on here? Everything's folded over when I got it set so it won't. John had a problem with his today too. Didn't want to stay where it was put. When he was trying to read his paper was all over the place. And that's what I'm getting right now. And my fan's not even blowing towards it. So it's pissing me off. Okay. And the ancient parish, front to back is against the green. The ancient parish of Broomhill was completely leveled, destroyed. What is it? Winchelsea, the town, it was ravaged, was completely destroyed. Another one that was completely destroyed and leveled, but was later rebuilt on a new site because the old site of the original town was now out to sea. The original site was out to sea. Hastings lost a section of its castle when the cliff below it collapsed, and also destroyed many of the town's port facilities. One night, gentlemen, one night. All this happened in one night. Just rearranged the landscape of southern England. Go to bed, it's nice and calm and quiet. You wake up to a raging storm, and water filling your house. You open the door, water floods in even more. You go to step out of the house, and you got to step up to get out of the house because so much dirt is being dumped in front of your house. Now this stuff's like a couple feet thick. I looked and looked and looked. I could not find a measurement of how deep it was. But based on looking at some of the stairs, from what I could see, there was no real good pictures to show you guys of getting into the church. You have to go down like a couple feet. That's how much is dumped in one night. What do you do when you wake up the next morning and your livelihood is the port? That's where you make your money. That's how you feed your family. And the frickin' port ain't there anymore because now it's a mile away because you're a mile from the water. What happens then? That brush is a lot softer. Oh, about those brushes, guys, if you do, I'm gonna after when I post this video, I'm gonna go in and change that video in the description box. I want to put this warning in there. Do not, when you're doing the 10 minutes on the towel, do not press, do not fan the knot out. Just do the tips. You just want to aggravate those tips. You want them to become like split ends. You want the tips to double up. You want them to break apart. You want them to loosen up. You do not want to press and fan the knot out. You don't have to do that. You just want to aggravate the tips. So I forgot to say that during the video. I'm sorry. So if you're thinking about doing that, just remember, just aggravate the tips. That's a good head shaver. Is it the best one? No, Harry's is still a lot better. I think the Blue Shave Club one is better. I also think, comes down to it, I think the Q Shave one is better too. But it's not a bad head shaver though. And again, I don't need the Allen block with that. Witch Hazel. I was reading the story and I'm going, what? The town moved a mile inland? Actually, it didn't. The land moved the shore a mile away. Oh, here, I'll put up a picture of what the area looks like now. Was it 4711? Yeah, 4711. Couldn't remember. This is the aftershave. It's the lightest fragrance I have to go with the Shore, because that's a very light, sunny, bright type fragrance. That's all I'm going to use of the Johnson baby lotion upside down. You all know what Johnson baby lotion looks like. Come on. But it spreads so far, you don't need much. And then we're going to use the 4711 cologne because we want to smell good. Hoorah! And that's it. Like I said, it's a good head shaver. You can't see it, but I can actually see the screen through the spacing in the blades when I hold it like this. So the blades aren't super tightly packed on that one, which is actually a good thing to help against clogging, but it works okay. I mean, it's, like I said, if you don't want to spend $84 for a leaf, I'm pretty sure most of the cartridge razors out there will give you a good head shave. I don't think there's going to be a bad one for a head shave. I really don't. I think they're all just going to give you a decent, good head shave, and you don't have to spend $84 for the leaf. All right, gentlemen, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Don't forget the affiliate link. Once that account hits $25, I do get a gift card to the razor company and give it to you guys. So if you're going to buy from the razor company, go ahead and use that link, please, so I can give it back to you guys. And don't forget to check out the link to the 4 channels I'll put in the description box. Give those guys a like and a sub. Help boost their numbers. I'm sure they would appreciate it. And with that, I will say, keep your feet dry. No storms, okay? And enough of the babbling fat guy in the camera. You're in the chair next. Happy shaves out there, guys.